Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. Today I'll be reviewing the Elephas Wi-Fi 480 projector. Do note that since this review has been done, they have released newer versions with higher resolution, so many of the drawbacks of this model may be addressed by the updated ones. Links will be included below. For your convenience, this video has been split into segments, so if you're in a rush, you can skip to the specific chapter markers below. But to get the full lowdown and to help make the video more easily found, watching from start to finish works best. So why am I doing this? Well, this is one of 7 videos I'm making about video projectors. I'm doing this because about a month ago, I was organizing a family event, and it worked out cheaper to buy a projector than to rent one from the venue. However, when I did my initial research, I found it incredibly confusing. There's just so much information out there, and ironically, it's sometimes incomplete, making it totally impossible to do any proper comparisons. And worse still, as I found out some of the information is just plain wrong. So I ended up ordering a bunch of them to test them out and find out which was the best value projector for my use case. These videos are a summary of everything I've learned. I'll be shifting through all the noise to share with you what I think is important, as well as verifying and correcting any misinformation I discover. Check out the other review videos, including a full comparison of all 6 projectors I tested, in the description below. Full disclaimer, any product links may contain affiliate links, meaning a small percentage of the sale may go to me. Key thing is, you won't be paying anymore, and this helps reward me a little for the time and effort I've spent producing this video. Thanks in advance. Having said that, my goal here is to provide you the best information to help you make the best informed choice for your own situation. Even if none of the projectors I've reviewed suit you, I'm sure you'll learn a thing or two on what to look out for in your search for your perfect projector. The review will be split into 3 key parts. Firstly, I'll be checking and confirming the specifications. Then we'll be unboxing and taking a tour of the hardware and software, plus most importantly, evaluating the real-world performance. Let's get started. Let's check and review the information about the Elephas projector. We're here on the amazon.com.au page, and you see straight up there is some misleading information on this, and it says 1080p HD portable projector. Now, most people will just read that and just take that at its word that it's a full HD projector, but the key thing they're missing is supported. This is kind of a bit confusing because it could mean supporting a 200-inch screen, but in fact it's relating to the fact that it can support up to 1080p input. The actual output, the resolution on the screen, is 854 by 480. That is 480p. That is very low resolution. That's not even 720p. And I would imagine if you're projecting this onto a 200-inch screen, it's going to be very pixelated, especially if you're up close next to the projector. So just be aware that this is a 480p. It's not a 1080p. It's just supported. And be aware of this wording, because I see a lot of the projectors use that wording and you think it's a 1080p projector when it's not. So always check the screen resolution. Just another thing to note down here is that we've got the package dimensions. Now, this is really weird why they would actually include package dimensions. Like, I'm sure most people will not care about that. Usually it's the dimensions of the actual device, which is about half the volume of what this is, and the device actually weighs about 1 kilo. I think that's more important than the package, which is interesting. Just also check out, there's always some vouchers there's sometimes some vouchers that you can apply that will make the purchase cheaper. All right, let's have a look at the American website, and you'll see here that they have a very nice black one, which is very sleek. It's also got a little note here saying this is the upgraded version. And what that is, it's relating to the actual resolution. And so they've improved it there. It's 640p, not 480p, which is great. So the Americans are getting a slightly more improved version. And if we have a look at the UK at £85, this one is even upgraded even further. You can see it's a Series W22, and if we look down at the bottom, we find that this is actually a 720p. All right, so the UK gets the latest version. There's probably, if you search around, you can probably find the latest version. Just bear in mind, this review is of the 480p version. That's a key point that you need to take away here. And again, in the UK and US sites, they've actually worded it much better. It says, portable projectors support 1080p. So that's much better. It's less likely you can misinterpret that. Portable projector supports 1080p, but really they need to include the actual resolution in the heading. So that's kind of some of the sneaky marketing that happens here in the projector space. Just be aware of that. Let's move on. All right, time to check out what's inside the Elephas projector box. So firstly, we have, of course, the projector itself, nicely packaged, or good protection. Also got an instruction manual. Oh, one thing that is nice on this instruction manual, does have a bit of color. Look at that, nice. We've got a lens cleaning kit. And let's see what here, we've got a remote control. We've got a AV connector, so you can plug into your VCR directly with the 3-pin mini jack, power cable, and a HDMI cable. So definitely get everything you need to hook it up correctly. Let's move that away. Let's have a look at the projector itself. So we've got a lens cap here, I'll take that off. Looks like there's an infrared port on the front as well. Nice and clean design. On the top, we've got a focus ring, plus we've got a keystone. So you can do that manually. I like the manual adjustments, a lot easier to do than having to fiddle around with the buttons and going through the menu. In terms of the buttons here, not very many buttons and they're very small. So if you need something a little bit bigger and more visible with a little bit more of a differentiation, you may not like this menu system. However, you can use a remote control, of course. So we've got a power button, a back button, OK button. We've got left, right for selecting stuff. Looks like we've got a source button, and this one, sorry, that's a source button and that's a back button. Okay, very hard to see these buttons, they're so small. Let's look at the back. We got a speaker, got the power, and a rear infrared port. On the side, left side, we have headphone jack, AV for the VCR or old school DVD players. You got two USBs. It's got USB-T. I'm not quite sure what the difference is between USB-T and USB standard. But these you can maybe plug in the computer, plug into your thumb drive. You got the HDMI port, and of course a VGA port. On the bottom, we've got a screw access here, so you can stick it on the tripod, which is great. And nice rubber feet. Nothing on the other side. Okay, that's it for the Elephas tour. It's now time to check out the operation and menu system. Let's give the Elephas for a spin. Let's turn it on. And there we have a very old school start screen and an even older school setup screen. Let's see what we've got here. So here we have the options if we want to play media from the USB drive. Okay. Then we've got the setup, let's look into that. Okay, so we've got picture, music mode. Oops, it's not the most intuitive here. Okay, let's have a look at picture mode. If I press OK, we can change the picture mode. Now, very interesting here is I'm trying to change oh yes, here we go. We can go in here, OK, and we can increase it if you want to change the picture mode. Okay, let's get back out of here. Vivid, standard, soft. I'm just leaving it on standard for the tests. and back out. We got right, this is very fiddly. I'm not enjoying this whole thing here. Well, I have no idea what's going on. Needless to say, this menu system is not the best. I am having great difficulty just moving in between these. I'm just trying to get down out of here. Okay, I'm nearly at the point of giving up on using this. We're going to try one more time. Okay, music mode. You can change the treble and the bass, and it looks like you've also got specific frequencies you can change. We've got different settings for a few different modes. I'm going to leave it just on standard. Get back out. We've got surround sound again. Now, how do we actually move between these? Okay, I can't seem to access the color temperature. Maybe a bug in the system. Quite annoying, actually. Anyway, I'm not going to spend any more time on this. Don't have time to work this out. It is a little bit fiddly, not very enjoyable at all. Okay, let's get testing the rest of this system. Oh my God. All right, now this button here is the source button. So this is where you can move between, whether you want to use your AV in, your VGA old school. We've got also casting and your standard HDMI input. I'll be testing the performance of the projector for my real-life impressions as well as by the numbers. Key things I'll be testing are brightness. I'll be using a light meter and measuring the brightness on the screen in the center and at the corners at two different distances, about 2 and 3.5 meters, which is about 6 and 10 foot respectively for my old school friends. I'll also be measuring the size of the image at these two distances and testing the operating noise using my audio meter on my Apple Watch. For real-life performance, I'll be giving my personal take on the quality of video projected using a combination of film footage and some dynamic footage I've edited together from awesome footage shot by professionals. Thank you, Sony and DJI. By the way, I've also uploaded this edited footage so you can see how the video looks directly on your monitor. Link below. Let's see the projector now in action with some cinematic footage from Shang-Chi. Hopefully that gives you a really good idea of how the projector performs on the screen in the dark. Let's have a look at the numbers now. Here we're looking at the Elephas 480p projector. Firstly, looking at the size of the screen at 2 meters, you're getting a 64-inch or 163 centimeter image, and at 3.5 meters, a 292 or 115-inch image. Next up, we've got the brightness, and the brightness here at 101 lux, 2 meters, is a little bit, quite a bit below our other projectors that I've tested. However, the drop-off is not as great as some of the other ones. We can see here we're getting 47.5, just under 50%. Okay, so the key thing here is we're looking at the brightness. The Elephas is not as bright as some of the other projectors I've tested. However, the drop-off is also not the worst. We've got about just under a 50% drop-off at the corners for both the white and the colors. As you notice here, it looks like I did miss on actually measuring the blue light, which is why there it says 100% there. I didn't measure that one, but looking at these numbers, it should be consistent with that, giving you an overall approximately 50% drop off on the edges. At 3.5 meters, you're seeing the drop off here slightly higher. So not only will the image be less bright at 3.5 meters, but the drop off is also going to be slightly more. Whether it's discernible or not, it's probably going to be very, very minimal. Looking at the sound, it hits at 48 decibels on top of the projector, and as you step away, it drops off to around 39 decibels, which is very comparable to the other projectors I tested. And again, once you're playing a movie, this is pretty much inconsequential. On this side of the diagram, I've also got some references so you have an idea of what the lux means in real life. The two key ones that I'd be comparing to would be corridor lighting in your home would be about 40 to 80 lux, whereas lighting in the dining room would be about 160 lux. This is a really hard projector to recommend in this configuration, especially when there are other more capable projectors costing less. It does a job, but shines less brightly and is quite pixelated, especially noticeable with text and subtitles on the screen. Also, the one I got shipped seemed to have some software bugs that stopped me from accessing some of the picture settings. Hopefully the newer high resolution models that are more than 480p will have resolved these issues. Having said that, I do think this is one of the nicer looking budget projectors, especially in the black. Today, I'm going to give the Elephas a 5 out of 10 for performance and a 4 out of 10 for value for money. Love to know what you think, especially if you got one. Hit me up in the comments below. Don't forget to check out the other projector review videos in the description, including the comparison review of all 6 projectors. Okay, that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button so you don't miss any future videos from me. See ya!